why cardio is killing your fitness goals. Now, this is a fun one. You've heard me talk about cardio a lot, and one of the things I find when I speak to people who are either new to fitness or even experienced with fitness is there's a gross misconception when it comes to cardio or cardiovascular activity. Usually, when we think of it, we think of I'm doing cardio. I'm going for a run. I'm on the elliptical machine. I'm running after my kids. That's great cardio. Cardio can be very good for your heart. It's known for heart health, absolutely. We are not anti cardio uncaffeinated. Cardiovascular activity done appropriately is good for your health, absolutely. But what many people do not know is studies show resistance training, lifting weights, right? Progressive overload is as beneficial for your heart as cardio is. So we usually think of cardio as having all these heart benefits, and it does, but don't discount weight training for the important heart benefits as well. Keep that in mind, listener or viewer. We talk quite extensively about resistance training on this show. This is just a little more of that good stuff. Sprinkle a little protein on it, and heck, we've got an episode. But cardio, we want to be clear, is not without merit. It's not bad. We just don't want to be doing it the wrong way or too much of it. You might be doing it the wrong way. You might not know. We always want to make sure, as I sip, our cardio is supporting our fitness goals. It's kind of like mirroring them. So, what are the particular benefits of cardiovascular training itself, especially as it gets more extensive? Well, it's actually stamina and endurance. Whether it's a more intensive HIIT type of training that's often preferable if you're looking to build explosiveness, or even long distance running for extensive endurance. This is why I think cardio is much more important for performance-based athletes. Another thing we want to be crystal clear on, you also get endurance and stamina training benefits from resistance training as well. One way to get more out of resistance training, if you're looking for the stamina endurance, is just rest less between sets. Now, be wary though, if you do that, it may impact your lifting performance. You may be robbing Peter to pay Paul. Another middle ground might be, if you want to work on the stamina endurance, do longer sets. Maybe take the weight down a little, do more reps. That may not impact the progressive overload as much, but you'll be getting the stamina and endurance training down. So cardio is good. We're not kicking cardio when it's down like a clown, Charlie Brown. But here's why cardio may be killing your muscle gains and even your fat loss goals as well, right? That's important. Number one, you are doing too much cardio and you are exerting too much energy on cardio. This is one I see all the time. It's huge. And here's a great way you can kind of take notice of it in your own life. Do me a favor. Next time you go to the gym, look at all the people on the treadmills and the elliptical machines or whatever they have in that area, and then look at everyone who is lifting weights, resistance training. You may be shocked to see the people who are generally in better shape are strength training. I'm not shocked to see this because I've seen this. I've observed this. There's a few reasons for this. One being strength training has more benefits and the vast amount of your energy should be going towards building that muscle because of those benefits. This does a myriad of terrific things for you. It raises metabolism. It improves your appearance, absolutely. People weight training are generally looking better. There's a law of diminishing returns generally with cardio. Because our body is always adapting, we want to be the adaptable mouse. That means we often, not always, but we often need to increase our quantity and duration of cardio as our body becomes more efficient to have the same result. This is no good. That's not good, guys. That's not good at all. The only time this is good is, again, if you're an athlete focused on performance, then it's fantastic. But in contrast, when we talk about weight training, you need to progressively overload your muscles to continue gaining muscle, which does include increasing weight, but you generally don't need to add more workouts in or work out longer. This is a major win for strength training. Stop wasting so much time watching TV on an elliptical machine. You ain't working that hard on it anyway. If you are, that's unfortunate. Boys and girls, go lift something, okay? Number two reason you're killing your fitness goals. You are doing so much cardio, you're killing your legs, kid. You're utilizing your legs so much that it is ruining your leg workouts. I myself, who is so far from perfect, fell victim to this many years ago. You may not know this about me, but I absolutely love to run. I love running. I am not a particularly good runner, nor can I run very fast, or for an extremely long time. but I really enjoy it. I love the mental benefits. It helps me with my anxiety, my overall well being, all that good stuff. That being said, I only run about once a week now. And the reason, it was killing my leg workouts. I couldn't train legs anywhere near as effectively. And your leg muscles make up a huge part of your muscle mass, and they also influence other lifts you can do. Like if you want to do a standing shoulder raise, as silly as it sounds, or standing barbell presses, and your legs are weak, or they're too sore from a run, that could be a tough day to train shoulders. Yeah, your legs make up a lot of muscle on you, and not to mention, after a tough leg workout, you really need adequate time to recover, and running can interfere with that recovery as well. So I was definitely running too much, and combined with the soreness in my legs, there was also way too much wear and tear on my joints. I find now I can do one good run a week. I really, really enjoy it. I get all the good anti-anxiety and endorphin, dopamine releasing feelings from walking now. So again, I love running, but very much in moderation and not at the expense of weight training or my joints. Number three, I like you and you like me. So the first two dealt directly with muscle gain, which can impact fat loss, overall well-being. But number three, this is predominantly a fat loss related one. All right. If you are using cardio to keep yourself in a caloric deficit, no bueno. And as your body adapts to the cardio and your metabolism is also slowing because you're in a deficit, a caloric deficit, you just keep adding cardio in order to see results. This can't last forever. You simply cannot do 7 hours a day of cardio and maintain it and mentally function as well as a human being. And it's an absolute disaster. Do not make this the way you lose fat. Do not lose fat from cardio. Huge, huge mistake people do all the time. They want to lose weight, they increase the cardio, increase the cardio, increase the cardio. There is an enormous law of diminishing returns here. It will bite you in the butt. It will not work out forever. It will probably stop working out for you sooner than you realize. It's one thing to get so many steps in a day, which I absolutely believe in. It's something entirely different to continue to increase cardio and duration. I recommend if you're trying to lose fat, decrease your calories first, as long as it's manageable and you're not for too long in a deficit. And sure, you can add some cardio in to kind of help your deficit, but you don't want to be relying on it. Once you go into maintenance mode when you're no longer in a fat loss phase, really important, you're going to have to keep that cardio up and potentially be increasing it, or your maintenance calories won't be as much as they could be. The idea of going into maintenance, you want to be eating a healthy amount now. You've already been dieting, and you don't want to have to be doing 3 hours of cardio a day to maintain that healthy amount. So my advice, if you're not eating enough in a deficit and you feel you need to keep adding cardio, this might be an optimal time to do a reverse diet. Get that reverse diet in the mix. We had a whole episode on it, and I'll try and leave you a link over here. It pops up like right here. If you just look at it. Number 4, the next one is something I found with extensive cardio. Specifically back to running in particular, this may be borderline anecdotal to Charlie, but I've heard a lot of people say this, right? I get a ton of steps in walking and I burn calories that way, and my hunger's pretty steady, pretty normal hunger. I'm very happy with it. I also pay a lot of attention to blood sugar and stuff like that if you watch the show, but for whatever reason, running would make my hunger go nuts. It would often be immediately after a run as well. I know there are people who say intense exercise, they're not as hungry after. Sometimes this is the case for me too, but after a long run, I would sometimes be ravenous. And in the muscle building phase, if you can control the hunger to some degree, I could see this being less of an issue because you're in a surplus to some degree. You don't want to go nuts, but chances are you're increasing the cardio because you're trying to lose fat, not because you're trying to build muscle. And increasing your hunger along with the cardio is a zero-sum game. I mean, let me state the obvious as well. The 500 calories or whatever you burn doing cardio for an hour, whatever it is, you can eat those 500 calories in 5 minutes if your hunger is not in check. I mean, I can do it in 43 seconds. I know you've heard this saying a lot. It's cliche, but it's very true. You can't out exercise a bad diet. And this is just one of those ones, you kind of hear and you're like, but this is a true one. You can't. Number 5 reason that cardio may be messing your stuff up. I need a sip for this one. Competing signals. Big one. Big one. If you're telling your body you're training for endurance and strength at the same time, you're likely going to get a little bit of both but you're certainly not going to maximize both. That's why extreme fat loss and extreme muscle gain usually don't go together at the same time without a pharmaceutical cocktail I do not recommend you take. This, of course, is a concern with muscle gain because when you want to improve your overall body composition, you 100% want to be resistance training. You want that to be the foundation. You want that to be the priority. Not that there can't be any cardio, but you do not want it to be the focus of your training. Remember that muscle gain is also your best friend in getting leaner. The more muscle you have, the better you look, the more calories you burn at rest. Overall, your health picture changes for the better with muscle gain, not to mention longevity and your overall wellness. So don't let excessive cardio confuse it. Don't be the hamster, wasting its life away, never getting the cheese. That was a fantastic analogy, Al. Let's keep it in. Finally got one I could keep in. So again, it's an enormous misconception that cardio is best for fat loss. It is not. Resistance training is best long-term for fat loss. It will improve your metabolism, overall health, and your overall appearance more effectively. Not to mention with too much cardio, you have to worry about if you're signaling your body to shed muscle, so you can endure for longer. The lighter you are, the easier that is to do. With weight training, this isn't a concern. Just look at sprinters versus long-distance runners. Even though both are cardiovascularly training, one is telling their body we need to explode for a short burst, a short period of time. This equates often to muscle gain. Long distance runners are kind of telling their body, hey, we got to run 30 miles here and hopefully not die. So let's shed some weight, Phil. Nothing against long distance running, guys. If you're into that, that's cool. Listen, man, the only thing I'm running from is decaf. Now, I also want to give you an example of how cardio can actually help your weightlifting or your fat loss goals. If you fit into this category, if you're someone who does not have a lot of endurance, and you're just kind of walking around the gym, maybe lifting some heavy weights, maybe you are overweight, maybe you're performing very low reps, kind of power liftery stuff, by allowing you to do the endurance and stamina to move more and longer, cardio can definitely indirectly allow you to build more muscle and lose more fat if it's improving your capacity for resistance training. I also am not saying that powerlifters do not have great endurance. I'm saying you might fall into a category where you do not. So this is a way if your ability to do cardio is impaired to the point it's affecting your ability to weight train, this is one that cardio not only benefits your health, but your muscle gain and your fat loss as well. That's awesome. So cardio in moderation, great for your heart, great for your health. If you're an athlete, of course, you're going to be doing more cardiovascular activity based on your sport. Listen, if your passion is marathon running, I get it, but I would not recommend that to someone who just wanted to look great and feel great. That wouldn't be the path I recommended. That's, again, a very unique passion. So what do I recommend and what do I do cardiovascularly? I think 30 minutes a day of cardio is excellent. For me, it's usually walking outside if I can with the wife and kids, a beautiful day. It checks off multiple boxes with the sun and just smelling fresh air and stuff like that. I also have a treadmill in the house, and if I'm writing all day or filming or whatever the heck I'm doing, I can get my steps in there if I need to or if the weather's not great, whatever. I find that's great for my heart and great for my health, mental and physical. This also gives me a much more attainable goal when it comes to cardio, just with the craziness of life. I mean, remember, I'm also strength training 5 times per week. I work all day. We own businesses. I have kids. I'm an artist. I'm working on different projects. I'm writing. I'm producing a film. I want time to relax. I want to see my family. I want to see my friends. I'm busy. You're busy. So listen, go about this cardio thing the right way, my faithful listeners. I hope. Don't waste your life on an elliptical machine. I mean, I appreciate you guys too much. I don't want to see you. I don't want to be driving by the gym and be like, oh, look, Tony's been there for 7 hours. Don't do that. Side note on those elliptical machines, you are not burning half the calories those machines say you are. It's absolutely ridiculous. You'll be on there 20 minutes not breaking a sweat, and the stupid thing says you burnt 3,000 calories. Trash. Just absolute machine trash. I blame AI. So that's the bit on cardio, guys. We're not demonizing it. We're not making it a villain. There's no Dr. Doom hiding out in the cardio section. Maybe there is. Fantastic Four is going to be a cool film. But we want to be real about it. Cardio is not often the best route to your fitness goals. And we want to dispel some of those misconceptions as well. We see a lot of that. Make sure your cardio routine mirrors your goals. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about cardio. How often do you do cardio? And frankly, do you think I'm wrong? Is Charlie out of line here? Maybe you think cardio is the way. I just do not.